going to be doing a book review on If I'm Found by Terry Blackstock. I believe I said that correct. This is the second book on the series. She has 3 books in the series. The first one, If I Run, which is the one you should have watched last week. If you haven't seen that one already, again, it's on last week's video. And this video we're doing If I'm Found, which is her second book, and hopefully next week I'll be doing the third one on the series. So because I'm really excited about this. I actually came across this, like I said in the previous video, that someone suggested it on YouTube. They recommended it, and I was very intrigued by the sample that I was able to listen to from Audible. I don't actually read regular books, physical books, if you do not know me, because I am visually impaired. So Audible helps me a lot, and so I'm very grateful when other people suggest books that are actually on Audible, just because a lot of the recommendations, when I listen to the recommendations I hear, they tend to bring up books that are physical copies and they don't have audiobook formats, and I can't read them. So I'm very excited that I was able to get to listen to this book. So this story is, I'm going to tell you like a little bit of both, basically, so you can kind of understand what the story is about. It's basically this woman who is being accused of having murdered her best friend Brent, and so she's on the run for her life in the first one. Well, she's on the run on both, but basically is just there's these I'm not gonna say who, but these people that are against her, and they're kind of framing her, and so she's in the whole story right now in both books. She's kind of trying to hide and disguising herself with, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but with different kinds of wigs and stuff, and she's just on the run for her life, which is, if you were in that position, it'd be scary. I mean, I think about that, like that'd be scary, to be on the run and not knowing when they're gonna catch you, and knowing that you didn't do anything wrong, but you're still in that position, and having to figure out who can help you, with who you can trust and who you can't trust. And it's really sweet, a story, because it's a Christian story. So you see how she has to learn how to trust God. I don't believe she's a Christian, or you don't see that at the beginning, because she doesn't understand a lot of stuff, and I think she just isn't. So you see how God, little by little, is opening up ways for her to see that He's working on this case, basically, or in her life, or what's going on. And it's a really sweet story, and I love the way it's written. And the only thing with that, the thing is, it kind of feels like it ends quickly, and I don't know if it's because I'm hooked on the book and I just keep listening to it, but it kind of feels like it stops quickly. I'm like, it's like, they just suddenly stop, and it's like, Audible hopes you've enjoyed this program, and I'm like, wait, it just finished? And then it has you trying to reach out for the next one. And I would say reaching out, even though it's a actual audiobook and not a physical copy, but you know what I mean. Basically, it makes you want to read the next one, and so I'm actually excited to read the next one. I unfortunately ran out of credits, so I had to wait a few more days so I can get the next one. And basically, I don't think that there's anything that I don't like about this one. Like I said in the first one, in that I mentioned that in this book, they do change the narrator. So it takes a little bit of time. If you're listening to the audiobook version, it takes a little bit of time to get used to her voice, but you do get used to it, because this voice actually sounds more like the character herself, the way they describe her, as opposed to the first narrator. Though the first narrator still did a good job, it's just it didn't fit. The voice didn't fit quite with the character, as opposed to the one they have now. So I think the change, I guess, maybe was necessary, so that you can not get yourself distracted from the voice of the character, like the one the narrator is putting in, and trying to visualize the character the way they actually described her. Anyways, her name is Casey. I forgot to mention, her name is Casey Cox. And so there's a I mentioned in the first one that there's another, like a PI. I think it's called a PI. It's a private investigator who's being hired by her best friend Brent's parents in order to track her. So there's also that going on in the story, and you see him just as well as in the first one, in this one as well. But in this one, he has like different ideas and different different thoughts about the case. So I won't say what it is because I don't want to spoil it. But you see that a little bit. If you've already listened to the first book, you'll see that a little bit as the story progresses in the first book. So you'll notice it quickly once you're heading from the first book to the second book. But in the off chance that you have not watched the first book review to this one and you haven't heard about the first book, that's why I don't want to share too much details. But if you are interested in this book, and then go ahead and listen to the first one, If I Run by Terry Blackstock, I think that's her name. You'll see it on the title here. And the second one, it's If I'm Found. And the third one is If I Live. I believe that's the right one. So thank you so much for watching this book review. I hope that you were entertained and you, I don't know, maybe you got interested enough that you want to actually pick up the book, whether it's an audiobook or the physical copy. I do hope that you found it interesting, and you do let me know if you did read it. Leave me a comment if you end up reading it, whether you come back to this video later on or if you have already read it. Do let me know in the comments, or if you have any other Christian fiction audiobook recommendations. I'm actually kind of trying to look for contemporary fiction or contemporary Christian fiction, since I keep finding a lot of historical fiction when it comes to Christian ones. I don't know if you guys know any other books like that are contemporary, and maybe with mystery as well, something similar along the lines with this one. I really would like to find more books like that are like that, because, or even if they're not Christian, as long as they're clean, of course, that they're kind of like contemporary and they're like contemporary fiction and they have like mystery, something along those lines, that would be very helpful. And again, as long as they're on Audible, I would really appreciate it, because I'm on the hunt for that. But it's harder to look for those kind of stuff when at least when I'm trying to search, because I just talk to it on audio so they can tell me just some of the books and stuff. And sometimes it gives me recommendations, like good. Sometimes it gives me good recommendations. Sometimes it just gives me the same stuff. It won't, for some reason, it won't let me pick specifics when I'm trying to do a Christian fiction or a Christian mystery fiction or something like that. So instead, it'll just give me fiction or Christian fiction, and then not contemporary, and it'll just give me historical stuff again. Anyways, I'm rambling on. If you do know any book recommendations, definitely let me know. I will add it to my wish list, and as best as I can, I will listen to them. If they end up being in the included catalog, then I'll definitely listen to them faster, because I'm really getting more into listening to books, because I've always loved listening to them, but I had a little period there where I couldn't listen to books. I didn't have much time to do so. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to listen to more now, since I'm really working my way through my stories, and listening to books helps inspire me more. And I don't mean like for copying, but more like I like to practice the way things are described, and other books do help me with that. So I, again, highly recommend this book. Thank you so much for watching this video. I have book reviews on Wednesdays and writing sprints on Saturdays. If you do see one of the videos not posted on the accurate date, maybe 1 hour later or the day after, that does have to do sometimes with if I'm able to get it uploaded on time, or if I have my sister's assisting me with editing, and sometimes there's just stuff happen, maybe bad Wi-Fi or signal or something like that, and or I don't know, maybe I sent the video and it's not fully recorded well. Maybe I messed up something and I didn't notice because of these. And so things happen, and I end up having to do a different day. But mostly it'll be Wednesdays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.